Well, hello my dear companions, and welcome to another adventure series, a new one that I'm really excited about. It's from the developer of the Stanley Parable. I didn't play that game myself, but I saw many let's plays of it. Wow. And this is a new game from him, The Beginner's Guide. We're gonna do this, guys, because you know, if you've been on the channel for a long time, that I love innovative, very unique indie games. The Beginner's Guide. Here we go. Boom. It's a very special game. If you have watched the trailer, yeah, it's on. It's pretty much we're going to go through a lot of unfinished games, and he's gonna narrate the whole way.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named CODA. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met CODA in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
you can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just CODA learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
Yeah.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
Sure.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of CODA's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
That's a cool concept.
So, it's 2008, CODA starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made. Until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to CODA. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at CODA's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
This is totally breaking the fourth wall. And as you see, he is narrating a lot, so I won't talk that much. This will be a very special Let's Play, guys, but I hope you will join me on this journey. Let's do this. Okay. I just want to see so if we can have like a new... What was I thinking about? Yeah, you might wonder why I record in 720, but that's just because I upload my videos in 720, so I don't need to upload or to record in high resolution. But okay, audio. Should we have captions? Captionings? Do you want that? I will go with that for this episode. and maybe the second one, and you can tell me in the comments down below if you just want to hear his voice or if you want the text as well. I think that could be actually good for those people that can't really hear well. Let's continue.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift to structure.
Whisper. Wow.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from CODA.
It looks good though. I like it. Whisper machine.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form.
Nah.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere.
Yeah,
But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't
I'm just gonna see if I can fix the audio thing so we don't have that up in the corner there. It's a bit odd. I guess that's the overlay they're meaning. See if that changes anything.
really know. Maybe CODA thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
Okay. Okay, this first episode will be mind-breaking, because so don't.
I
so
love how you can see the bottom.
bear
of the
with me.
universe
Bear with
from
me.
this road.
I don't like the text up there. I want the text at the fucking bottom. Maybe you can't. Okay, let's just roll with it this time. This will be such a weird let's play.
Apparently, the space station has a labyrinth
wow.
on it. Sure, I don't know.
Oh my god.
There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. Means a lot to me.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay, cool.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
What?
It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
That's interesting. Should we do it? Let's effing do it.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what CODA had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Should I do the same thing again? Whoa.
The beam causes you to start floating.
Oh my god, this
And
is
this
so
is
weird.
an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but CODA identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
This is a series, as you see, that you should just turn on your headphones and relax and join me in this. Because this is weird. This is gonna be weird, guys. I can't move. Oh,
Yep.
I can't.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
The past was behind her. Oh, that's a cool feature. I can only go backwards.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete.
True.
CODA is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Wow. Keep changing. Wait, what? Oh my god. I wonder if I can get the text to the bottom instead, but we're gonna roll with this for the first episodes. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Can I walk? No, I can't steal. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then
That's
it
cool.
ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay, let's go with the next one. This is so weird. Oh my god. Okay, I'm only wake. Okay, straight forward we go. You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay, okay. Oh, guys, I love this. This is why I love indie
Oftentimes,
games.
CODA would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Whoa.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
This is so weird, guys. This is so weird. No, no, no. Why am I getting slower? No.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if CODA's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Come on. There we go. What? Now it helped. Okay, that's weird. Okay. Sorry for the tabbing out of the game. Stun on X staring at the beep. What? Whoa.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
So...
CODA would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Ah, the staircase. Shall we continue? Can we continue? New game. Oh my god. Ready, set, fish. We can do one more. Well, let's not. Let's end it here, guys. Hope you enjoy. This is a really special series, as you might see. But I hope you enjoy. Leave a like, leave a favorite. I have a link to where you can get the game yourself, probably on Steam. Stay awesome. See you soon. Toodeloo.